Good morning, YouTubers. T Square here with T Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. It is Wednesday morning for you guys watching this. It's Tuesday night for me. I guess it's technically Wednesday morning because it is after midnight. Hope y'all are having a great day. I know I'm having a great day. Got a nice package in yesterday and got a good topic to talk about. Got a lot of great comments on yesterday's video. Got a lot of good views on it. A lot of people enjoyed the video, as you can see with the numbers. We did 834 views in 18 hours. So lately I've been on a slump, so not hitting too many big hits. But a lot of that has to do with the quietness, I guess you can say, of gold and silver. And then yesterday, a little bit of breath of fresh air, I guess you could say, as gold and silver had a nice jump yesterday, still maintaining the 100-to-1 ratio roughly. However, we did see decent jumps on both gold and silver, and that is good for those of you guys that want to see the price go a whole lot higher. For those of you guys that have been stacking, hopefully you've taken advantage of the opportunity that we had, because a lot of times we'll see these pullbacks and they don't last forever, but they do discourage enough people. And as they discourage people, they start blasting with these articles about how gold and silver is doomed and this and that, and it's about ready to pull back. And then sometimes you'll even see YouTube videos, oh, it's the summer, it's going to plunge in price, and we're going to see sub 20. And I love seeing these, I guess, negative pushes, because it kind of in a way makes me personally feel good about precious metals. Now, just because I feel good about precious metals doesn't mean that I'm against other assets. I had someone tell me the other day that, oh, you silver stackers are all against crypto. You know, I'm not against it. I'm happy for the people that are making money. I just feel bad for the people that I believe are going to lose a lot. And I hope, if they truly believe that silver is going to plunge in value and we're going to miss the boat on Bitcoin and stuff, I hope they kind of feel bad for us just a little bit, because I do feel bad for someone that I believe is probably going to lose everything when the crypto bubble does pop. With that being said, though, we all have difference of opinions on what's going on. But today, I want to talk a little bit about this recent breath of fresh air into gold and silver. I will go over the other prices of different stuff, including Bitcoin, and I want to talk a little bit about what a lot of people aren't talking about yet, and that's the upcoming BRICS meeting, which happens in July, which is next month. Let's see, is that next month? I'm sorry, in 2 months. Here I am trying to fast forward through the summer already. I'm not a fan of summer, for those of you that don't know. I'm in Texas, so I don't like the heat. But, I mean, it is right around the corner. And I'm curious to see, because we are starting to see a lot of propaganda coming up against the BRICS. And so I kind of want to talk a little bit about that. If you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me, and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I love to hear them. And with that being said, special thank you to our members, and hit that subscribe button, and thank you all for watching, and let's jump right in. So right off the bat, as I said, silver did have a breath of fresh air yesterday. You can see we are trading at $33.02 as of right now. You can see the last 5 days trading. It's kind of been creeping up on us a little bit. A lot of people aren't paying attention to that, because people feed on negativity. There's two types of videos that I always find amusing on YouTube that do really well, and those videos are either silver's going to go to $1,000 or silver's going to plunge in price. Everybody wants to know what's going to happen. And all we can really do, nobody has a crystal ball, even the YouTubers that have huge followings. None of us have crystal balls. But I think people want to know what's going to happen. And the only way we're going to be able to look is if you look at what's happened in history and kind of benchmark, kind of compare and see, okay, if this happened before and the U.S. is here, what would be the next step? And the next step essentially is gold and silver continuing to inch higher and higher. Now, a big pullback, we have seen that, but I'm wondering if we didn't already see the big pullback on both gold and silver, and they've been fighting it for a little while now. And if that's the case, then it makes sense that it's going to be harder and harder to pull it back as time goes on. And gold and silver will probably go higher and higher. So real quick, taking a look at the silver price, we are at $33.04. You can see a good uptick, but it's interesting because it is maintaining right around that 100 to 1 ratio, where a lot of people were worried that, oh, what happens if it goes to 125 and I trade, then I'm out. Essentially, you're never really out, in my opinion. If you trade gold for silver, you're just trading in one asset for another asset. And I think both gold and silver will do really well in what's going to happen, what's going to be coming up. And so either way, I think you're doing well. However, obviously, we all want to get the most we can get for our trade. I mean, I would much rather have 125 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold as opposed to 100. But I'd also like to have the 100 if it's going to go down to 80. So a lot of people have been paying close attention to that. I find it interesting that they are inching up hand in hand. And when that gets too out of whack, I have to wonder what's going to happen in the short run too, or what's causing that to happen. I actually received a really awesome comment earlier today from Joshua. It said, T, in terms of prices, we know the main driver of gold's latest run-up is central bank buying. They're only 10% allocated, I can't pronounce the word right, in gold, and they want to be 30%. So there's still plenty of room for gold to run up just on that alone. I think between the BRICS nations, the China buying, the credit rating of the U.S. getting downgraded to money printing, to eventually retail demand growing in the near future, increasing $10,000 gold is not out of the realm of a possibility. Now, that is on a 5-year timeline. In my opinion, as they need to reset the financial system before 2030. Now, as far as silver goes, we know silver prices are heavily manipulated. We know now that there are, a massive industrial demand for silver, a lot more than gold, as well as a large demand from the BRICS nations like India. The last few years, silver supply has not been keeping up with demand, while gold has, which makes silver the dark horse, in my opinion. As this continues, retail demand will also pick up for silver as gold becomes too expensive for the average person. We will start to see an acceleration in the lack of silver supply, which will likely loosen the COMEX's grip on the price control and cause silver to also go up in price at a faster rate. I think that gold will make a run up sooner than silver will, but silver's run up will be a lot larger. That being said, I think both metals will do tremendously well over the next 5 to 10 years. So if you have that much time to wait, then I'd be buying both metals now, especially silver. I really see $10,000 plus gold and $300 plus silver, and a gold to silver ratio at 30 to 1 by 2030. And I'll agree with that, actually. I think by 2030 we're going to see some really crazy things happen. And here's the thing. This concept that some people have told me that they believe that gold is going to keep going up and silver's not going to keep up. I mean, we've seen 125 to 1. That's the highest we've seen, but we've only seen over 100 now 3 times in history. I don't believe that this 100 to 1 ratio can maintain forever. I've already said a couple times I would love to trade my couple ounces of gold in and get more silver. I mean, when you think about it, a couple 100 ounces of silver for 2 ounces of gold, that's pretty amazing when you really think about it. If I do decide to do that trade, I'll definitely be recording doing a video of the overall process. I wouldn't sell it though. I would not sell my position on either gold or silver. I might trade from one metal to the other and kind of play the numbers game, I guess you can say, a little bit. But this comment really broke down a whole lot of different problems that's going to come up, that's going to want to push gold and silver up even higher and higher and higher. I think it's important that people understand what's going on. When we see these beatdowns in the silver price, like we've seen, right here, when silver went from $35 all the way to essentially 28 and change. That kind of beat down, it shows it go all the way down to 28.38. I actually think it went a little bit lower even, but when you see these kind of beat downs, some people just don't understand that how something can go down like that. They don't understand the manipulation that's taking place right now. Once you understand what's going on, you understand that the opportunity we're in to stack more is becoming better and better. Now, I promised that I would read over the other prices, so I kind of have to go through them because I'm not going to not give props to Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now just hit another new all-time high, where today we actually got up to, we were up to 107,627,000. That's pretty amazing. 107,662 dollars. That's pretty amazing to see gold. I'm sorry, I say gold. I wish gold. Digital gold. I don't even like saying digital gold. I laugh when I look at this because I've said from the beginning I'm not a Bitcoin fan. I'm not a Bitcoin fan. I know people want to leave me negative comments. Even a close friend of mine's like, dude, I think because you mention it a lot on your channel, I think you're jealous of the people. I said, I'm not jealous of it. I'm happy for the people that made money off of it. I just think that when something is at the top, it's just like a person. When you're at the top of your game, you have a lot of people targeting you. And there's a lot of people that are looking at Bitcoin and trying to find ways to swindle a lot of people out of their money. And I think if Bitcoin crashes, a lot of people are going to be hurt. And a lot of people are going to demand something be done about it. And that's not going to change. When you look at some of the crypto scams that have been out there, it's just a matter of time before something major happens. And to think that if you think that Bitcoin is 100% anonymous and nobody's ever going to know who you are, that's been proven that that's a myth. They went in and they've confiscated people's Bitcoin. And, there's always going to be ways. Are there ways to protect it? Yes. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that your gold can't be confiscated. I'm not going to sit here and tell you your silver can't be confiscated. Do I want to fearmonger and talk about that? No. But don't make it sound like, oh, there's no way that it can, get taken from me, because it's Bitcoin. I laugh when I hear that stuff. But I'm going to move on a little bit because I don't want to give too much attention to it, although I wanted to give a certain amount of attention because it is at an all-time high. And there are people in the stacking community that are holding Bitcoin too. They want to be diversified. Some people are on XRP, some people are on Dogecoin, Shiba, a lot of different coins. Taking a quick peek at the DXY, which was interesting because the DXY actually did go down today. It had a pretty good drop, actually. It went down by 1. It was at 100.6 in yesterday's video. Now we're at 99.6 and it's still falling. So when you start to see these drops, you have to understand what's going on. A lot of people are losing faith in the dollar. And I think as more and more people it happens, they're trying their best to fight it. They've got to keep confidence in the dollar until the last minute. But like I've always said with the whole Amish thing, when an Amish moves the barn, everybody has to lift together. When people start taking breaks, water break, bathroom break, it puts more weight on the people that are holding it up. And at a certain point, who's going to be left holding the dollar up? Who's going to be left holding the bag? I personally don't want to be having all of my money invested in essentially U.S. dollar based assets. If you have a home, well, a home is always going to have value. Does it really matter if your home is worth $200,000 today and you wake up tomorrow and it's worth $100,000? You still have the home. Nothing has changed. I mean, I can tell you one of my homes I've had for a very long time, and I had it when it was worth $30,000, and I still have it to this day at $150,000. And that's a big swing. And if it goes down, because, I mean, it needs work, I don't put a lot of money into that home. And, once you realize it doesn't matter, a lot of people will, though, freak out when everything that they have. It does matter when essentially your Bitcoin, or there I go, picking on Bitcoin. I'm not gonna use that. A lot of people just don't understand that, it really doesn't matter. Something that you use every day, that you live in, does it really matter what the value of it is? People are always going to need homes. You're getting uses out of it. That's one of the examples of being diverse. It doesn't necessarily mean diverse into stock market, Bitcoin, but there's nothing wrong with that if you do. Someone's going to start counting the words. I had one person actually count how many times in a video that I said the word and someone's going to start saying, how many times did you count? Someone's going to leave a comment, you mentioned Bitcoin 64 times. I'm like, no. Taking a quick look at the Dow Jones. We got to talk stocks a little bit. Stock market not really doing a whole lot today. Down about 1/4% or 114 points. Closing out the day at 42,677. The Nasdaq taking not really a major hit, down a 1/3%. Down 72 points, closing the day at 19,142. And people's retirement, I always like to mention this one. Conrad actually got me to start mentioning this all the time. The S&P, a lot of people's retirement is tied up into the S&P 500, closing out today at 5,940 points, down only 23 points. Kind of a slow day in the stock market, not really seeing much. Debt continuing to climb as we're at 36 trillion. 876 billion and climbing. Taking a quick look, we do have an FOMC meeting, the Fed meeting next month on the 17th and 18th, plus the end of the second financial quarter next month. What really caught my eye at first was this article right here. The BRICS meeting. I actually had read an article before this one that was basically talking about the U.S. dollar meeting its end by 1,000 cuts, and literally it kind of feels what it's happening. It feels like we're getting the U.S. dollar attacked on so many fronts, and a lot of people aren't talking. And then when I'd read through it and I had seen the BRICS, I was like, I haven't heard about the BRICS lately. What's going on with the BRICS? Well, the reason we haven't heard about it's been almost a year since our last meeting. On the BRICS meeting. And so, now that it's coming up, I mean, last time this story right here got published on February 16th. That was a little while ago. But here we are now getting closer to July. And, as this meeting comes up, they're going to need to pump more and more propaganda out there. And when I typed in what's going on with the BRICS, I wanted to know, and I'm getting a lot of titles coming up on my feeds that say BRICS is losing leverage, no BRICS asset is big enough to rival the dollar. Everything is kind of trying to downplay the BRICS. And I think a lot of people are underestimating the BRICS because not just because they're not worried about it, but also because they don't want to put fear in American people about what's going on. Because, it's just like battle. Like I've always said, if you're going into battle, you certainly don't want to tell them the troops, oh, yeah, they've got the latest and greatest technology, on and on and on, and hopefully they don't just railroad us. You don't want to tell people that. You want to keep confidence in them that the dollar is going to be strong. Now, my job here on the channel, I'm not trying to, the reason I do gold and silver videos are not to, I'll say, ruin morale in the U.S. currency. It's more to protect people. It's more, I want to see people pay attention to what's going on. I want to see people be prepared for what's going on. I was actually talking to one friend today, and he was telling me how China's not really worried about what's going on. Why are they not worried? Because they're prepared. They understand what kind of actions we could do as a country. And each one of those actions, they're trying to create a standard operating procedure on what they're going to do if that happens. And so when you understand that, it's no different than the military. The military, when I was in the military, I actually wrote up standard operating procedures. So if this happens, what is our backup plan to this event? What is our backup plan to that event? And once you start understanding that plays a big part, it's preparing people. This concept or this idea of, I don't like to think about it because why do I want to worry about it? Almost like if I don't see it, nothing bad will happen. If I cover my head under the pillow and don't see the monster in the room, then it can't get me. It doesn't matter. That's why you need to be prepared for what's going on. And a lot of people would rather live their life in a positive bubble and not realize that once that bubble gets popped, you just are in for a rude awakening. And that really does worry me. And that's why we talk about a lot of these things. We show different things that have happened in different countries. Because once you realize the true economics of what's going on, and economics is not complicated. It's really not. It's based on a certain amount of fundamental rules. And once you understand those rules, you understand that certain things are going to react to other certain things. And yeah, people can manipulate the data, but eventually true economics will reveal itself. If all of a sudden you think, oh, we're going to keep inflation down by trying to, basically say the inflation's not there, that doesn't change anything. And once you understand that, because here's the thing, if people knew inflation is going to get worse, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to start buying up stuff. And that's what I've said is a wise choice. Buy extra stuff that you know you're going to use. Take the time to prepare that stuff. So that way it doesn't sit in your cabinet and then all of a sudden you're attracting roaches or something. I actually talked to one lady after the whole cough. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. It's a touchy subject still probably. I don't use the word anymore. But needless to say, after cough, she bought everything she could get her hands on. Her husband had money, and they basically just kept buying and buying and buying and buying. Didn't know how to preserve any of this stuff. I'm at Walmart one day, and I'm looking at the food sealers and this and that, the canning jars, and a husband and wife are standing there, and I start talking to them, and he's just kind of shaking his head laughing. And he said that to me. He goes, yeah, she just keeps buying this stuff. And now we've got bugs and little roaches running around. And I said, do you prep? She goes, well, I was kind of afraid what happened after. And, he understood that I was scared. And so I wanted to buy extra stuff. And he wanted to make sure that we were taken care of if something happened. So he allowed me to. And I said, yeah, one of the big things is, get canning jars. Put your food in that. What ruins food? Oxygen, light, moisture. Once you find ways to keep that stuff out of the food, you can preserve stuff. I don't want to get too into prepping. I mean, I've done a lot of videos on prepping, and I do spend a lot of time, and I even overbuy sometimes. I mean, I've got some stuff that I don't even eat. And some people, later, I was like, I wish I hadn't bought it. I'm not a big fan of it, but on the flip side, I wanted some sort of canned meat like Spam, which I am not a big fan of. But I wanted to make sure that I had some on hand just in case. If something bad happened, I mean, heck, if I'm going to starve, I'm going to eat Spam. I want to be prepared. So where I'm going with this, though, is we have to be prepared for what's coming. And that's kind of where stacking comes in. And I understand if the end of the world comes, someone left me a comment, Judgment Day. Yeah, I understand. Judgment Day comes, gold and silver is not going to help you. The full-blown apocalypse comes, a hurricane, a nuke, some crazy thing like that. Yeah, gold and silver ain't going to help you. But if we just keep going down the road we're on, having a little bit of gold and a little bit of silver, that you have access to could help you out in a lot of ways. And I think that's important. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap the video up here. I thank everybody for watching. I can't believe I made it 30 minutes on this topic. But I thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully we're moving in the upright direction now. After that 8:32, I was pretty excited about that. I was like, finally. I don't know what happened over the last week. Just YouTube been destroying me with subpar videos that they've just been giving bad ratings on and not really sharing them. So I am thankful, though, that you guys enjoy the videos, and I'm thankful that you enjoy the channel. I get a lot of comments that say, people look forward to these videos, and that does mean a lot to me. It's important that I'm helping y'all out, and, I like to think that I'm helping people out. If you have a question or something you're concerned about, definitely leave a comment. Let me know. I may not see it right off. If you're lately, with everything going on, I've been a little bit behind. If you're a member, I do see your comments. I just don't always have the time now even to get to them that minute. But I do get to all the members' comments. So I can't thank you all enough. With that being said, thank you all. Have a great night or day. I hope you all enjoy your day. And I can't wait to see how today plays out after yesterday's nice little run-up. So thank you and have a great day. Don't forget to check out some of these other great videos. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.